Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate Jam session. I'm currently in Lake Tahoe, beautiful Lake Tahoe, and I'm at the Commercial Real Estate Influencer Conference. And I'm grabbing as many people as I can here because it's all the influencers in commercial real estate. So I feel a lot of these people are going to bring a lot of value to you. And so one of them I was watching give a talk today, Kyle Inserra. Kyle, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I peeled him away from networking out there, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Kyle was up on stage and he was talking about how AI is making a move into commercial real estate. And it was extremely interesting. And you're doing some beta testing on a product right now, right?
Yeah. It's I was introduced by this company on my own podcast. Mm-hmm. He's looking to introduce AI for restaurants because, restaurants realize that, with the pandemic that they're so used to connecting with people when they came in the door,
right.
But now what are they going to do? Right. So you ignore somebody on social media now and it's kind of taken the same way that somebody ignores you face to face.
Right.
So he wants me to kind of use it and I said, well, how can I use this in commercial real estate? And, I have a podcast and prospecting and things like that, and it's just really been amazing what it can do.
Mm-hmm. I really do think that it's going to make commercial real estate a lot easier, and that's why I got a little excited and grabbed you right away. I'm like, we got to talk about this. Because I really think it's going to create a way for a real estate agent to be a lot more efficient. The efficiencies that I think it's going to create, you're not going to have to leave the office as much. Mm-hmm. Can you walk us through how your AI works?
Yeah, so mine is, I've used it for events like this. Mm-hmm. So hashtag CREI is part of the thing that's going on here. So I set it up on the back end so that if anytime somebody commented hashtag CREI, they would get this automation sequence that would say, hey, thanks for the comment. Yeah. It would say, well, first it would say, just DM'd you. You would go check your DMs and be DM'd, hey, thanks for commenting, tap this link, and it would say, hey, what's your email? Mm-hmm. Send the email.
So you've captured an email.
Now I captured an email. I got the name of the account, got the email, and then it says, sometimes emails slip through the cracks. Would you mind sending me your cell phone number? Mm-hmm. Enter the cell phone number. Now you're in my SMS platform. Mm-hmm. And then simultaneously, you got an email that says, how cool is this? Or like, welcome to the podcast, and it links you right to the latest episode of the show. Mm-hmm. So how I see this working is, when you're a landlord rep,
yep.
Or even on the tenant rep side for me, you get the same questions. Who do you have looking in the market, or could you send me a flyer or a floor plan on this space? So I'm just setting up one keyword.
Right.
But so many of those reach outs come on social more and more. So somebody's like, how much is the rent? Or tell me about 123 Main Street. I can set up that whole series of keywords in the back end, and it'll say, are you inquiring about 123 Main Street? Yes. Do you need a flyer, a floor plan, or whatever? And you can click it, and it will send it.
Yeah.
And now it's also,
powerful.
and at the same time, it's adding that contact into a Google Sheet that's connected to my email list. So it's, and it just, how many times I gotta send this again to this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It just in that alone, I think it's gonna be impactful.
I think also where I think is going to be tours, because you're going to be able to, we were just talking on over here, how to set up a tour where there's going to be somebody that's going to go in, film the whole property. Yeah. And our brokerage has been trying to do that for years. We're trying to just take videos so we can send the videos out. Yeah. It works somewhat, but I really think the programs that with AI, like you were talking about, you can send that to your potential client. You're they're not going to have to leave their office. You're not going to have to leave yours, and they're going to get a tour. That's going to be
exactly. And I think that's, these guys are coming from outside the industry, right? So they're looking that we have a lot of friction and time, and we all realized that I think last year that time is valuable. Family, friends, we want to be with them. Is one of the takeaways that I had anyway. But you can send somebody the file of your property, and you can simultaneously be the AI that's in that property,
right?
And you can guide them through that process from their desk and your desk, and then you can drop in the designer and the architects. This is what your equipment would look like here. Okay. This is what the outside's going to look. You can walk the outside.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Wild. So it seems like futuristic, but I think we're close.
I don't think it's that far out. No. I really think we're here at this conference, and I've really learned being in this conference how powerful this is, and the networking and everybody's talking about it, so it spreads a lot faster now.
Yeah.
And I think somebody that can get AI out, it's going to get through the industry a lot faster now.
Yeah.
What else do you see coming with AI?
You know, I really think it's gonna find those friction points for us, and I think it is so many of those repetitive conversations that we don't necessarily need to have. And I think what people say is, you know, the naysayers are going to say it's going to take away like this, right? The back and forth. But I think it leads to this.
Yeah.
I think it leads to more of those connections. It's just we got less work to do. We have a warmer introduction. I mean, it's used a lot now, or more frequently in, like, say, the wedding industry.
Yeah.
So these destination weddings, the bride and groom can put on the goggles and they can walk, you know, the Bali resort that they want to get married at from, you know, Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
And I think those kind of things, market tours, you know, things like that, we don't have to spend so much time and money traveling. It's going to be dropped in all those spots, in ways that we can't even think of.
I agree. I think in the next 5 years, the way AI is going to take over this industry, or not take over it, but it's just going to make it simpler and much more efficient.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell us about, now Kyle is with Sabre out of New York. Tell us about your podcast.
So it's the National Restaurant Owners Podcast, and I have on, you know, the name is a little bit misleading, but I have on restaurant owners, CEOs of big restaurant groups, people outside of the industry, stuff that I think would be, I used to be a restaurant owner, and I felt like it was such a lonely industry. Yeah. Like you can't go down the hall and ask somebody like, hey, what this bartender keeps showing up drunk, or hey, how do we figure out this whole situation with this server trying to, you know, hit on the hostess, and you're trapped in this like feeling that you have to figure it all out yourself. So I try to bring in people who can lend their experience of how they navigated that whole thing, and particularly as it pertains to growth. Okay. So like going from 1 to 3 units and 3 to 5 units is like another universe. It's really different, and I try to just shed light on some of the topics there that you should focus on.
Okay. What's the name of the podcast?
National Restaurant Owners Podcast.
Okay. We're going to put that in there'll be a link below. Make sure you check it out. I've seen Kyle in action on his podcast a few times. He does a phenomenal job, has great guests. And so check it out. And Kyle, thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I got excited when you started talking about AI up there, because it's a passion I really have, because I think it's going to work well. And I hope you guys got something out of it. Please do subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like. And if you want to get in touch with Kyle, like I said, his link will be below. Or you can reach out to me and I'll put you in direct contact with him. Thank you.